Good evening. I'm Cadet Corporal Miles Stewart, and this is an information briefing. It is unclassified. The purpose of this brief is to inform that non-commissioned officers of 1st Squad, 2nd Platoon, Battle Company, 1-17 Infantry Division. During my brief, I will compare and contrast the Chinese Infantry Squad and the American Infantry Squad. The American Infantry Squad contains 9 people. In this 9-person squad, there is 1 squad leader and 2 team leaders. The 2 team leaders lead Alpha and Bravo team, which are made up of a machine gun team, which consists of a machine gunner who carries an M249 and an assistant machine gunner who carries an M4. The other member of the team, which is present in both teams, is the Grenadier who carries an M4A1, which has a grenade launcher attached to the bottom. When moving in a squad, one member has to keep the pace count, which is usually either the squad leader or the Grenadier, and the other one, who's in the front, is carrying the azimuth. The American squad is a light infantry, so the common movement techniques are the squad wedge column and the squad file and the squad stagger column. In these movements, when the American squad engages, it has to be at least a 2-to-1 ratio in the American squad's favor for them to be able to engage with the enemy. Displayed is the wedge, and you can see that both teams are mirrored of each other, just flipped. So if it's one person over here and 2 people over here and a team leader, then on the opposite team, then there will be 2 people on the left side and 1 person on the right side. And the team leader, squad leader, and the other team leader are always in the middle. The squad leader is in the middle of both teams. The Chinese Rifle Squad consists of 1 squad leader, 1 assistant squad leader, which is equivalent to the American team leader, and 7 members of squad. The assistant squad leader and squad leader carry the QBZ-95, which is the M4 equivalent, and the QSZ-92, which is equivalent to the M17. The one aspect that the Chinese squad has that the American squad does not have is the driver. The driver drives the CSK-141, which is the equivalent to a JLTV, and carries a QBZ-95. The machine gunner, like the American squad, carries a similar to M249, which is called the QJY-88, like machine gun, and also has a assistant machine gunner who carries a QBZ-95. Unlike the American squad, the Grenadier carries a rocket launcher, which is called the DZJ-08, which is equivalent to the AT-4 rocket launcher, and the assistant Grenadier, like ours, carries the QBZ-95. And then the other 2 members of the squad are just riflemen that carry the QBZ-95. The high mobility squad travels in the CSK. That is their movement technique. They do not travel in wedges or columns like the American squad. They travel as platoons in the CSK 141. So they do platoon movements, not squad movements. And when dismounted, there are only 2 scenarios where the 2 teams are formed. Either the squad leader takes a team with the DSJ, which is the rocket launcher, and the assistant squad leader takes a team with the QJY, which is the light machine gun. Or the other scenario is the squad leader takes both the DZJ rocket launcher and the QJY machine gun, and the assistant squad leader takes a light assault team, which is just made up of people who carry the QBZ-95. That's when they're dismounted. So this is the Chinese squad. As you can see, they're all popping out of the CSK 141, armed and ready. So similarly, both the American squads and the Chinese squad have 9-man squads. They both have machine gun teams. They both have a squad subordinate to the squad leader that must be able to lead a team, even though he's not the same rank as a squad leader. He still has to lead the other subordinates if they are dismounted. And they both have in similar 4 assault rifle specific positions. On the other hand, difference: the Chinese squad, most of the time, unless dismounted, travels in a vehicle, the CSK-141. But as I mentioned earlier, the American squad is light, so they mostly do not travel unless specifically mounted to a vehicle. The American squad is more mobile on feet because of this, so that is a difference because they can go through rougher terrain that does not require a vehicle to go through. The American squad does not require anti-tank capabilities. As I mentioned earlier, the Chinese squad carries a rocket launcher in every squad, which is equivalent to AT-4, and the American squad has a grenadier, not a rocket launcher. The rocket launcher is in the heavy squad, which is usually the 4th squad of every infantry platoon. So it does not require anti-tank capabilities. And the American squad has 2 machine gun teams, one assigned to Alpha Team, one assigned to Bravo Team, while the Chinese squad only has 1 machine gun team. So those are key differences in the mobility and the personnel in the American squad and the Chinese squad. This concludes my brief. If there are any questions,